Hi, hello everybody. Welcome back to my class, my English class. With me, Mr. Shari, the one and only Mr. Shari. All right, guys. Today we will have two kind of topics. For the first topic, it will be talking about the grammar. But don't worry, it's gonna be fun. And the grammar is gonna be about adjective and also adverb, right? Do you know about adjective and adverb? I think you know it, but we will know more about it later. And then the second phase, we will talk about the descriptive text. So we will learn how to describe something. Okay. So if you like maybe if you are K-popers and then you want to describe your idols, it will be gonna be a fun time for us to try to describe about someone. Okay. All right, let's jump to our material today. So I will do this share screen so you can see my PowerPoints better. Okay. All right. Well, for the first, we will talk about adjectives and adverbs. Okay, it is a very important for you to know it because in our daily life we always use these words. You know, this class of words. So we use a lot of adjectives and then we also use the adverbs. Why? Because when we say something, we have to make it. We have to make sure that it is complete and it's understandable. Okay, let's start to the first page. All right, well, for your information, the actually adjectives are used to modify nouns, and it is also used for modify pronouns. What does it mean? Basically it means that actually the functions of adjectives is to make the nouns or the pronouns become more specific, or that actually adjectives can explain something about the nouns. What I mean is, for example, if I say Mr. Shahri is handsome, right? Or the handsome Mr. Shahri, meaning that actually the adjective there, which is handsome, is telling us about Mr. Shari. Here, Mr. Shari is described as a handsome person. So basically, if Mr. Shari stands alone, it's just Mr. Shari. But if you put adjective there, the handsome Mr. Shari or Mr. Shari is handsome, you can imagine that actually Mr. Shari's face is handsome, right? But because if you never know me and then you just know my name, you will never be able to imagine my face. And you can protest right now. Kidding. All right, so basically modifying noun means that it's just explaining what or how the noun is by using the adjectives themselves. Okay, next. And the definition of an adjective is it tells, listen, this is a very important, it tells what kind of a person, place or thing. So it's like giving you more, you know, more chance to imagine something, right? For example, for example, it's like when we describe about a place, of course we will use adjectives such as a big, very big place, right? A very large buildings and high buildings, something like that. So a high and a big and also large, they are adjective which are used for place usually. And maybe you can talk about thing. For example, my adorable doll, for example. So you just think that your doll is not just a doll, but doll which is so cute, and and cute is adjective is all right. That actually the doll is not just a doll, but it has what is that kind of specific characteristics, something like that. Okay, And it may also point out which one or how many. Well, for talking about adjective, the function of adjectives for person, place, or thing, it is a very useful. I mean, everybody always say it, like easy assignments, for example. So you got an easy assignments from your teacher. So the easy itself is explaining about the assignment that is not difficult. Okay, now let's try to see the example of the second point. All right, the example of the second point is like what kind. So it will like it is gonna explain about what kind of something. For example, the ship was an English vessel. So here we can see that actually there is a adjective there which is English, and here English is explaining about the vessel. So here the vessel is the character of this vessel must be from related to English. So basically it's English vessel. What kind of vessel is that? This is English vessel, something like that. For example, there are, you know, nasi goreng, right? Or fried rice. There are many types of nasi goreng in this world, or fried rice in this world. For example, Chinese food has its own fried rice, and we have our own fried rice. So what kind of the fried rice that I'm talking about? So I have to say I am eating Japanese fried rice. So meaning that my fried rice, it has a Japanese taste, something like that. So it's of course different from Chinese fried rice, something like that. So the Chinese, the Japanese are explaining where or what kind of the fried rice that I mean when I want to say something. So the function of the adjectives is very important, right? From here you can understand that it can make you know and imagine, or the picture of the fried rice is immediately appear or pop up on your head when I say Japanese fried rice. If I say Chinese fried rice, of course you will also imagine how the Chinese fried rice will look like. Okay, the next is about the function in the which one, right? The adjective function in which one. For example, this factory is mine. So this here is also adjective which talk about the factory, right? Because there are the factories, maybe, I mean, like, just imagine you stand in a area where you can see a lot of factories there, but when you stand there and you talk to someone and you say this factory is mine, so basically this here is the adjective which make the factory specific. This factory is mine, something like that, not other factory. Okay, and the next, talking about how many and which one. So for the next example, it has two adjectives there. Let's read. Many people enjoy the annual dinner. So basically, there are two adjectives, right? For the first one is many. So it's talking about how many, how many, what? People, right? How many people enjoy, or many people enjoy the annual, but the annual here is not explaining about the people, but it's explaining about the dinner. Or what dinner? Is it daily dinner or monthly dinner? But in it's the annual dinner. So basically it's once a year dinner, right? So which one? It's once a year dinner or annual dinner. That's the adjective, the annual. Well, next. All right. Oh, let's jump to the adverb right now. The functions of the adverb is to modify an active verb or a verb phrase by expressing manner, place, time, degree, or number. So this is also very, very important, because when you give an adverb to certain sentence, meaning that you also give more specific uh, uh, sentence. So it's not just it's become more it's become clearer, and then it can be easily understood by the listeners. Okay. And again, I want to repeat, it expresses manner, so how something does, and also place where something happens, and time when, and also the degree, and also number. Let's see one by one. All right, the types of adverbs. There are three. The first one is simple, the second one is interrogative, and the third one is negative. Let's talk about the example of simple adverbs. So it will be like, she moved quietly. So it is talking about adverb of manner, and then this is telling us how she moved, right? She moved in a quiet way, or she moved quietly. And the second one is, I waited there for an hour. It is adverb of place, and it's telling us about where I waited for an hour. And the next, you may leave soon, it's adverb of time. It tells when. When do I, or when do you may leave? Okay, soon. That's the answer. And then the next, I called you once. It's talking about number, adverb of numbers, and it tells how many. And the last one is, he said very still. It's about the degree, how still he is. He said very still, something like that. So tell how much he 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 said, how he said, how much. Talking about how much is still, I mean how much is still. It's a very still, something like that. Next, talking about the interrogative adverb. So it's introduce a sentence that asks a question. We use the WH question, such as where, when, why, and how. For example, when will you return? So that's asking about about the time, right? So basically, because the time, the name is interrogative adverb, so it's talking about again the W question that I said to you. And the second explanation is, how is the trunk being sent? So those are of the function of the W question here are called as interrogative adverb. Next, and there is something called negative adverb. It denies or contradicts a statement by using no, not, never, only, scarcely, and hardly. Well, two negative adverbs should not be used together, so you will only use one. Yeah, that's the rule. Do not disobey it. Again, two negative adverbs, I mean, should not be used together. Okay, let's see the example. The example is number one. You can say, I can scarcely believe my eyes. I can scarcely believe my eyes. That's correct. You cannot say, I haven't no more seashells. Okay, you cannot say, I have not no more seashells. Why? Because there are two negatives there. I have not no more seashells, something like that. So if, because scarcely is negative, right? So you cannot it's okay for the examples number one, but for number two, there are two negative things there, so it's incorrect. Next, and there are some familiar adverbs that actually you should know, such as almost, and then finally, seldom, unusually, certainly, hardly, quiet, so, usually, just, rather, very, red, fairly, nearly, and to, and scarcely, and also well. So you can use them in a sentence as the adverbs. Next, talking about descriptive text. Again, like I told you before, when you know how to describe something or a place or someone, it's gonna be so fun because you can even if you have a family and then somebody asks about your family, you can describe your mother, you can describe your father in a very nice way. At least people know that you know your own mother and your father, right? Next, what is a descriptive text? Descriptive text is a text which is what person is or things is like. So in short, you can just simply say like this: describing someone or something. Let's talk about someone. You must make someone imagine them or their look. Yeah, for example, if I try to describe my mom, so I have to let people know the hair color or the shape of the hair, and also the type of the hair maybe, and also the type of the skin, and about the shape of the nose, something like that, and the lips, and also the color of her eyes, something like that. So people can imagine how my mother looks like. And the second, its purpose is to describe and reveal a particular person, place, or thing. This is a very important. Why it is called as particular? Because by describing something, you can specifically talk about one single thing or one single person. So it's not going to be, wrong. For example, when I say there, I want to describe about someone and you have to guess. He's included visual, and then he I believe that he is one of the most famous member in BTS, and then he has a very amazing uh, Instagram, because it's his Instagram. Every time he posts something on Instagram, it always gets millions of likes. And then he has a very fair skin, and then he also has a very good shape of nose. And then he last time I saw him in a Grammy Awards talking to Olivia Rodrigo. Who is he? And then you can say that he is BTS or Taehyung, right? So it's gonna be so fun to talk about descriptive. Next, well, the generic structure of the descriptive text is for identifications. So it identify the phenomenon to be described. And the second one is descriptions, to describe the phenomenon in parts and qualities or characteristics, something like that. Like what I have done just now, it was talking about how I describe about of a person by using his characteristics and also qualities of that man. Next, and the language features, it's using attributive and identifying process, using adjective and classifiers in nominal groups, and using simple present tense. So when you try to make a descriptive text, it has to be in present tense. Shouldn't be verb to there, of course, because it's using present tense. And then it is using nouns. Example, like a teacher, house, bank, of course, because you are telling about someone, so you can tell use the proper noun of like mother, father, that I told you before, right? or things such as house or animals like cats, something like that. And there will be kind of detailed noun phrase, right, to give information about some subject, such as it was a large open robot, a sweet young lady. So it's just you know, like like it's gonna be so detailed until you can imagine how is a sweet young lady, right? And then the various types of adjectives are meant for describing, classifying, and numbering. For example, two strong legs. So there are two strong legs, right? You simply can imagine how strong those two legs, right? And sharp white fangs. So in your head right now, there is no pink fangs. There should be, and it's also, it has to be sharp as well, right? Not the dull one. So it has to be, you can imagine how dangerous the sharp white fangs are. And thinking verbs and feeling verbs to express writer's personal points of view about subjects. For example, police believe the suspect is armed, right? Police believe the suspect is armed. And the second one, I think it is a clever animal. So this kind of this for the first the first sentence, police believe that police believes the suspect is armed, is just, we can find it in in the news, something like that, and we are as the reader of that news or newspaper article, will just simply imagine that the suspect brings something to hit or to attack the police, something like that, and it's very easy for us to imagine it. And I think it is a clever animal. So we can imagine whatever it is, the animal can talk or can count or can jump or can do whatever we ask them to do. So it's how we describe a clever animal. And it can be also for action verbs. So for example, our new puppy bites our shoe, right? So our new puppy bites our shoe. So we can just it's gonna be so easy for us to imagine a new puppy. So it's just a puppy that that person or the writer never had before, and it's puppy, it's a small dog, and then also it bites a shoe or the shoes, right? So it's just like it's gonna be very good. So we can just imagine that actually the kind of situation is like, it's a cute situation. And adverbials are words that we use to give more information about a verb. For example, I have been working here since 2018. So we just simply can understand that that kind of person is a senior in that office, right? And or the second one, my aunt took her child outside. And the last one, my father drives his car slowly. So these two two examples again and again give you imaginations, right? And the last figurative, the last language features of the descriptive text. Figurative language has a such as simile and metaphor. For example, John, his face is a white as chalk. So it's not the real chalk. I mean, like, you know, white chalk is not, I mean, you cannot directly make someone or imagine someone face as like a chalk. No, of course not, but it's just a metaphor that really his face is simply white, something like that. Next. All right, there is a tips and tricks for you to do the reading comprehensions for this descriptive text. First, skills needed to increase comprehensions. You can try to find main ideas of the descriptive text, right? So you have to know what this text is talking about. Next, guessing meaning and unfamiliar words from the context. So if you find difficult words there or difficult vocabularies, you can just simply guess the meaning of it and then just continue to understand the rest. The next is understanding and interpreting reference words. So don't be afraid if you don't know certain words, because you can try to interpret it. So you can try to guess what actually it means or what the writer is trying to tell us. Next, looking for keywords and transitional markers. So you have to be clever to find, words which can make you continue to understand or keep, keeping up with how the writer is trying to tell us. And then last is making inferences and drawing conclusions. So it's back to your mind or to your head and then try to understand, oh, this kind of writer is trying to describe about a house, for example. So meaning that actually it's describing place. So you can just simply imagine it easier when you know that this is talking about the place or a house, and also happening for the humans or persons or things, for example. Next, the main idea of how to find a main idea of descriptive text. You can introduce the main or general message of what the paragraph intends to convey or describe or explain. So one paragraph, one topic, sentence, and one main idea. How to face unfamiliar words. So if you asked me before, you can try to do the word analysis, or the word analysis. You can talk about the prefixes and stems and also suffixes of the word. So you can use that kind of word analysis to get what actually the writer is trying to tell us. Or the second, you can use contextual clues or in specific explanation. We can talk about the meaning of other words in a sentence. So you can try to maybe find the this synonym. Oh my god. You can I cannot find another synonym of synonym. Okay, so you can find the synonym of the word, or unfamiliar word, or difficult words. Or you can also try to have the contextual clues by seeing the grammar and punctuation. So you can guess by using the grammar what this sentence is. How this word is used in a sentence. That's what I'm trying to say. Next, making inference and draw conclusion. How to do it? So you can form an opinion after considering all the information put forward in the reading text. Steps to do it is you can get the facts right, look for clues or relationships between one and other words to create understanding for the full text, and ask yourself what we already know and associate facts and known ideas to draw conclusions. All right. Well, this is the example of the descriptive text, right? After this, we will talk about it and I will give you assignments, or I will let you know what you will to do for this text. Okay. Well, you can read it first. In 5 minutes, I will go back to you. All right.